Moda's talked a lot about terror because she has to had her existential, the moment of existential terror that she somehow through grace, through fortitude, through who knows what the mechanism was, in a sense that opened her up to a new place within herself. And there is definitely, a call within all of us to meet deeper and deeper existential, personal and existential, because the existential seems to be a universal experience, or a universal place where sometimes the personal can take us into that existential void, where we have to meet the void, for want of a better phrase, the void. What it means to be born, what it means to die, what it means to be a non-entity, what it means to be dead already, in a sense. What it means to be a flicker in a moment in eternity. What does my life have any meaning then? These kind of questions. So what is the, because it sounds like within that is a deep inquiry about what the meaning of your life is. And the meaning of one's life is wrapped up in the personal most of life. Yeah, of course it is, because we find ourselves in, work or marriage or kids or whatever it is that brings that meaning. And then usually as we get older, but not necessarily older, it could be through anything, we find that there's a deeper search, and the deeper search takes us into these perennial, difficult questions. What is the meaning of my life beyond the meaning that I've assigned to it, which is phenomenal? Can you get comfortable with that? No, you cannot get comfortable. That seems to me you can't get comfortable with it. You can know that it's coming. And I think if you're trying to get comfortable with it, there's an element of trying to control it almost. Not from you necessarily, but there would be. I can control this the same way I've tried to control everything else in my life. But I think, in a way that needs to be surrendered. You surrender that, and you actually, if you're being called through a door marked terror, then it might be that that's a beautiful thing for you. And try, so and it doesn't sound like you're trying to keep it like that, at arm's length. There's a willingness within you, and I know you. We've worked together a lot. There is a willingness within you to see what that is, to allow that to happen, to actually be engulfed by terror, which is itself terrifying. And there's no formulaic answer to these very, very, very particular questions. Life is supremely intelligent and has got your number. Yeah. Each person here, life itself, the intelligence of life, knows you more intimately than you know yourself, which is a phenomenal claim to make, but that's my observation. That's what I've noticed. And so when we try and devise these strategies, or we think we tend to want one size fits all spirituality or answers or stuff like that, it doesn't work. So it's like, how is life coming at me? What's my unique design that life has got the measure of, that it keeps offering me these ever new, ever deepening, ever nuanced, ever terrifying, ever more terrifying experiences, in order to deepen me, in order to ripen me, to go back to what I was saying. This is ripening. This is your ripening. Ripening doesn't come easily, as we know. It's not convenient. The spirituality, the spiritual deepening that we talk about, that I talk about, is not convenient. I learned this from my old teacher, the old teacher that I had back in the valleys in Wales, who was the most wrathful, crazy guy I've met. There was nothing about what I learned in the 2 years with him that was convenient. I wouldn't wish that on any of you. It was unpleasant. It was not, and it wasn't nasty in the personal sense, but I realized how how far away from our wildness we are. How far away from that. And by wildness, I don't mean, running in the streets mad. I mean truly, humbly, wildly open in a beautiful kind of way. And that's not to say that each one of us has to spend 2 years in a cave somewhere in Wales. That would do the job. It might do the job, but we can reach that. We can serve each other. You can, by your willingness, the willingness to keep on ripening and deepening and deepening and deepening and deepening through terror. I have been through terror. I do know terror. I know terror well. I know meaninglessness well. I know these things, not, and that's not to brag about it or anything. It's just to say this is the terrain. This is your beautiful terrain that you've somehow called in to your life.